and what it states, and read it as clearly as you can, please, because Ray's hard hearing.
All right, this is a text message from Carl WG2E, and he's saying, I hear all of you, you're stronger than Ray.
Where is he? Oh, where is he? I changed my pattern.
Got to turn your beam, Ray.
Got to get a bigger amp.
Antenna.
Wait. Is he in West Monroe, New York?
No, he's at his mom's place in Florida.
He's in Florida, and but how's he hearing us? From a Florida station or one of those local stations?
He's listening through the K3FEF, the Pennsylvania. I don't know where that is. It's someplace in Pennsylvania though.
That doesn't count. Carl, throw an antenna outside and take your cheap rail and hook it to it, and you'll hear me better.
Okay, I'm going to go over and help Maureen bring the chickens and the ducks in. Be back in a few minutes. KB2ZVP.
Was it supposed to rain tomorrow?
Supposed to get 3 inches of snow tonight.
10% chance of rain here tomorrow.
It's rained here all day today, and it's going to rain tomorrow, and it's going to rain on Sunday.
Sunday morning.
No more snow.
Let's hope so. I just remember early 80s, 82, 83, April, I think it was April 7th, 18 inches of snow.
On April Fool's.
Was that April Fool's?
No, I'm just saying, maybe we'll get snow for April Fool's.
Oh, yeah, it can snow up until the second week in April.
Sure.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed it don't.
Yeah, there's still snow on my property here in 2 or 3 spots, and when that's all gone, that'll be it, because it's, there was piles that were 5 feet high from the snow blower.
Yeah, but then we'll go into the spring season, and it'll be nothing but rain, and everybody will be complaining it's too soggy and wet.
Yeah, well, I have to shoot some lines over the trees, so... Anyway, N1 DBL.
N3 Ormo.
November 1 Whiskey Charlie Whiskey.
WA3SPN.
Now you're back to 10 dB stronger, Mike.
KC1RS.
Maybe I wasn't talking loud enough.
There's a boatload of people in here.
Yep, and we've even got some hecklers tonight, so we've even got mascots. The whole team's here. The whole team's here.
Where's John tonight? BYP, are you here?
Yes, and just powering up.
Okay. I've been trying to remember to tell you this for the last week or so. Chris down there bought a 7300 about a month ago, and he put the MXL microphone on it, and it doesn't have enough mic gain. He had to run the mic gain all the way open. And we had him turn the processor up and down, back and forth, and it just didn't really sound right. So he has a tube preamp that he uses. Now, you know how much I hate those external preamps, but he has a Personas tube preamp. I don't know if it's got a model number, but it's a Personas. I'm sure you probably have one. And we did several tests with that, and that radio sounds much better with the tube preamp than without it. I just wanted to tell you that, because I know you tried a preamp on yours, and it didn't really, it made it sound worse. But that one he's using sounds a lot better.
Cherry blossoms are coming out in D.C.
Well, very good. I'll listen in and see if I can hear him with it. Yeah, I guess it's the particular preamp that you use, how much gain it has, and how well it matches the radio as to how well it works.
KA3SDK.
But I'll be interested in seeing how he comes out. Over.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead, Chris. Say hello. We put it on and then off, and then on and then off, and me and Randy were here, and we both agreed it just sounded much better with the preamp run. Go ahead, Chris.
KA3SDK. It's a tube preamp by Personas. They have a 1 V2, an amp of V1.
I guess one is for like 2 XLR for stereo, one maybe single. But that's still a good one also. But that's what I'm running here.
Okay, Chris. Well, it sounds good. From here, I only have about a maybe 30 dB signal noise on you, and so that's all the report I can give you. But you're a good copy, and it sounds good, and so carry on. See how you get for for reports. Over.
Well, it's without it. My mic gain had to be up to 100, and my ALC would only go about maybe 65, 70%, maybe. And it was real low.
But it just sounds much better with the preamp, much fuller sound.
Yeah, very good. Well, I end up running this thing around 100%, maybe 99 or 98, something like that, with the microphone I have. And I don't know whether or not a preamp would help me or not, but, a couple of simple experiments I've done didn't seem to add too much. I think it's better to have less than more, but you don't sound bad. Over.
Where's your mic gain now, Chris?
I have my mic gain at 65. And I have the tube preamp, the tube drive is about 50%, and the gain drive is about, maybe 16 or 17%, maybe.
Yeah, okay. Well, like I said, we tried it on and off, and the radio just sounded much better and much more full sounding with that preamp going. But it's the only one I've ever heard that I can honestly say makes a big improvement. You tried a preamp on yours, John, didn't you? A couple of them, and they didn't sound good at all.
I did, but this is a different microphone, and the MXL preamp radio combination may be a little bit different. Mine didn't particularly like the cloud splitter thing or whatever it was that I tried on it, nor the Pro Audio mic that I had on it. So, I've arrived at what seems to be good for this, and it sounds like Chris has arrived at what sounds to be good at his. Over.
Except you don't have the gold microphone like Rush Limbaugh. His RE20's gold. Real gold.
And that is true.
Yes, gold makes it sound goldenly mellow.
I got some gold paint.
The EIB mic.
I'm going to talk to my buddy. I was over his jewelry store the other day, and got into the back room. He's got stuff from the floor to the ceiling. I've never seen so much jewelry junk. Now, I'm not talking about jewelry. I'm talking about tools and gauges and all kinds of specialized equipment for jewelry. It's just amazing. So I'm going to ask him if he can pull this microphone apart and see if he can plate it. I'll have it plated in 24-karat solid gold. It'll be beautiful.
Okay, I'm back. KB2ZVP.
And hey Ray, what did we discover with the smoke alarm situation?
Well, I was going to, if anybody wants to hear it again, some of you heard it, but I can't. I went through the whole smoke alarm thing today with 2 different fire departments in 2 different towns, and we got to the bottom of everything. We're an expert now.
Alrighty then.
Hey, Randy.
Yes, sir.
Hey, before you took off, I was going to recommend to you that you discontinue buying T-shirts for people. I think we need to start putting together Toad Harbor participation trophies.
Nah, maybe not.
They were talking today on the radio. Another interesting thing. One of the radio talk shows this morning, because I was out pretty early, and they were talking about those 2 dingbats that were paid to beat up the real dingbat, and they actually got a hold of some of the police reports because the police are so pissed. They put the reports out, and everybody's been reading them, and they read them, and they're extremely detailed because they're evidence. They were about some of the things those guys did, and it was unbelievable. And one of the things they did, they bought these Make America Great hats again, and they wanted to bleach them, and they wanted to make them white because they wanted everything white. And allegedly, they put white faces on. In other words, you know how back in the 20s and the 30s, the actors would do blackface? Well, they put white face on themselves, and then they put a stocking over their face so they looked white. And anyway, one of the things was the detailed police report was, very fine, and they said that they tried to bleach the hats, and they explained how they did it, and these guys did the same thing, and they said they took the Trump hats and they put them in bleach for like 18 hours and so forth and so on, and they said when they went to take them out, I said to myself, yeah, they were totally disintegrated. They said no, they got a deeper red. They were even more red than before they tried to bleach them. Whatever that means, I don't know.
Is Bippy in here still?
Yep.
Hey, I've got that. You know that big transformer I have in the basement? Do you want that? I'm never going to use it. It obviously is just going to sit there forever and ever and ever. But if you want it, you can have it.
Oh, sure. I would. Not sure if I'll use it, but it's interesting.
Okay. Next time I come up, I'll put that in put that in the truck, bring it out to you.
Okay, hold that thought. I got a whole bunch of back and forth I got to do over to Schenectady, and maybe I'll stop by.
Always welcome.
Thanks.
Don't leave it on the floor.
It's on a wooden shelf.
Yeah, because they say a lot of transformers, people put them in their cellars where it's damp, and that wrecks them.
This thing is heavy. I'd hate to have to pick it up off the floor. I put it where it was comfortable to set it, and that's on a wooden shelf. Now, when a wooden shelf breaks, it might wind up on the floor.
Did you ever figure out the voltage on it, John?
I got
6,600 volts.
Image of what the winding ratio is and the like, so I could probably calculate that. I don't know if it just lends itself to anything useful at the moment.
Yeah, I was talking to a guy last night on 80 meters, 160 here on 1885 on AM, and I told him what it was. He goes, yeah, it's 6,600 volts, and he goes, the other side of it is 3,300 volts, right? I said, yeah, and it's 1.7 amps, I think it is, on one side, and 1.2 amps on the other side.
Yep, so it's useful.
That's 8,000 watts.
How about that?
Hey, could I put that? There's room in this amp for that, but I don't think I need that. This power supply is just fine.
You're doing good.
But, I was just thinking that amp's real big, got a lot of headroom in it. I bet you could put a 4CX5000 in there, or a 3CX5000.
This amp is good the way it is. If I did anything, I would put the same. I would do it the right way, and get that kit from Dick Bird, and do it just exactly the way it was meant to be done.
You mean you didn't get that kit yet?
No, I don't have the kit yet, and I don't have the second tube yet, so there's no sense having a kit. But that's down the road.
Listen, you shouldn't screw around. That kit wasn't that much money. Buy it and at least have it in stock, because if something happens to him, you'll never be able to get it.
You know what I'm going to do to my amp?
Put 4 tubes in it.
Nothing, Randy already did it.
Atta boy.
What, it put a beating into it?
He did.
Randy put the beat into it and broke it in. It's got more than 2 black eyes.
Now the thing's afraid not to put out power for fear it'll get slugged.
Well, the only thing I could do to improve it would be like a metal flake paint job.
Yeah, that'd look beautiful. Blue metal flake.
But then it wouldn't be the original ramp.
You know, Dave, I think you ought to buy this 7600 to go along with the original Toad Harbor amp and the original Toad Harbor 7600. I can let you have it cheap, $2,500.
No, after you had it, it's tainted.
Has you guys ever watched when Donald Trump signs one of those executive orders and then he turns it around and shows it to the crowd? Did you ever? He has the nicest signature I've ever seen. Anybody know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Well, that's what I want you to sign that radio with, that silver pen, just like that. Randy Chrisman. That would look so cool.
I would just sign it Randy, KB2ZVP.
I admire somebody who can write cursive.
Yeah, Donald Trump really has if you've seen his signature, it's incredible. It's amazing.
He fills the whole page with it.
Here's the guy I want to talk to.
Bruce is here.
You know why he's got the good signature, Ray?
What was that?
You know why he's got the good signature, right?
No.
People that are gainful and run corporations and companies and stuff, they sign a lot of contracts and they sign a lot of paychecks.
Well, whatever. He has really interesting writing. It's very tall and very narrow. It's very odd, but it looks cool. Okay, Bruce, I got something for you. You got your pencil there?
Yeah, but first, when I sign my name, it's very small and meek and sort of timid compared to Donald Trump. Donald Trump has a document and he needs an extra page to put his signature on because it fills the entire page. And I think that speaks volumes about his ego.
No, I don't agree. I think he's just very sure of himself. You know, compare Donald Trump. Here's what you want to compare our president to. You want to compare him to a fighter pilot that flies an F-18 Super Hornet or an F-22 Raptor or, you know, something like that, one of these new F-35s and those type of aircraft. Because unless you have an ego and unless you are bigger than life, you would never get into one of them things.
Yeah, exactly. You're proving my point.
Well, so they have to be what they are. And it's not a negative, it's a positive. Okay, here, you got your pencil. You ready?
Yeah, but I didn't say it as to be critical. I just said it as an observation.
Oh, okay. Well, I just, whatever. It takes certain kinds of people to do certain kinds of things, and the average wuss would not get into an airplane and fly off an aircraft carrier, or even worse, come back in the middle of the night in total black where you can't see 3 feet in front of you and let go of the controls and the plane lands itself on the deck. How would you like to take that ride?
I'd rather have the plane do it than me try to do it.
Yeah, that's probably true, but either way, the first time, it must be scary as hell.
I'd rather go up with you little green men. Try that out.
Well, this is what I'm going to show you is the ultimate. It's the ultimate little green men, and you won't even be able to argue this one. Okay, you ready with your pencil?
Well, I have a lot of different surfaces in front of me. I have 2 notebooks. I have a graph page, and I have my log, and then a scratch pad. So where do I write? What level of significance in terms of the pads and notebooks and logs? Where should I write this?
Write it on your arm.
I don't write on my skin.
Okay, well, I don't know. Write it on your forehead, but don't forget to write it backwards so when you look in the mirror, you'll be able to read it.
Okay, I've prolonged this long enough, I'm sure. We're all waiting to hear this.
Ready to copy.
I just happened to come home today, and I sat and watched TV for a while, and it was UFO Day. And they had, which I've seen this before, but this one here, even you can't argue. You cannot argue this one. And write this down. You got your pencil? Because you can look this up, because one of the guys in here looked it up, and the whole thing's online, and you can watch it with your own eyes.
I have a pencil.
Okay. It's www.mufon.com, and then punch in Chicago O'Hare Airport. And this is a sighting that took place in, I think he said 2010. It was witnessed by thousands and thousands of people, hundreds of airline pilots, the tower crew, all the people that work at the airport, the mechanics, the controllers, everybody. And this was a UFO parked right over the center of the airport. It was right over the hangars for, not the hangars, but the buildings that two of the major airlines use. And it was there for, I think, about 45 minutes. Clear as a bell. I'd say the diameter of this thing had to be at least 100 feet, if not 200 feet. And it was spinning. You could actually see it spinning. And they had to reroute traffic around it. They were still landing planes, but the thing was sitting there in the air, and they were very careful of it. When it left, there was a cloud ceiling, I think, at 3,000 feet, and the saucer was about, I'd say, about 2,000 feet. And when it left straight up, basically, boom, in a flash, very, very fast. And it punched a complete hole in the clouds that you could see right through the clouds up to the blue sky up above. Okay? Now, they have pictures of this. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pictures of this. Everybody was taking pictures, including a professional news team got there and actually photographed this with professional camera equipment. Now, I want you to watch that and then explain that one away for me.
Okay. So what's your theory about the clouds? Why did the clouds dissipate?
I would guess that the thing went through at, above the speed of sound, and it probably just made heat. I'm assuming it. When it went, it didn't just start moving and then go through the clouds. It just went gone, just gone, right out of sight instantly almost. And I'm assuming it went through the clouds at such a high velocity, it either created a lot of heat or did something to them. But there was a hole right through the clouds that people could look right up through and see the blue up above, and then little by little the clouds filled back in. So all I'm saying is, some people said, well, yeah, it's a hologram. Well, a hologram wouldn't make the clouds move, so that puts that out. This is something that, there's just no way around it. It's a flying saucer. It was there. It was there long enough that thousands of people saw it. Everybody that saw it, many of them were pilots and tower people and experts and mechanics and, everybody. And there's pictures. They showed live pictures today, and you can see across the airport, and there's trucks moving and cars moving and people out there walking around, and yet the flying saucer's right up there above them, and it's going around too. So it's not one of these things where somebody took a snapshot and could have added it later on by that magic trickery stuff. It's videos. It's videos of everything moving at the same time. I mean, just watch it. I'm just kind of curious. You always try to debunk this stuff. I want to see if you can debunk that.
What decade did this happen?
I think it was about 2010. One of the guys here, Bob, looked it up on, and it just says www.mufon.com, Chicago O'Hare Airport, and I think it was in 2010.
2006.
Okay, terrific.
Okay, 2006.
One of the United pilots reported that one of the United pilots had a digital camera at the time of the sighting who may have photographed the event, but hasn't been released.
Well, because none of the pilots will talk about it. The camera crew that was there for a TV station tried to interview the tower guy, and the tower guy said, "What flying saucer?" And he says, the flying saucer that was out there when you were in the tower telling all the pilots that they got to watch out. There's a flying saucer over the field. He goes, "No, I never said anything like that." And he said, "Well, we have you on the air talking about it. How can you possibly deny it?" And the guy says, "Well, let's say, for instance, I did see a flying saucer." He said, "I certainly wouldn't say anything about it."
I'm going to bed. And with WCW.
Oh, so early?
Good night, Dennis.
Good night. See you tomorrow.
73's Dennis.
Good night, Dennis.
Like I said, I've seen it before, Bruce. I've seen this several times before, but this is the one, like they were talking about it today. They said this is the one that nobody can dispute. It's totally indisputable.
What was the show, Ray?
I don't know. It was something about flying saucers. I don't know what exact title was.
But what's the on the computer? How do you look it up?
Oh.
On Fridays is, I know there's Ancient Aliens, and it may have been part of UFO encounters, depending on what time of the day it was.
Yeah, I don't think it was Ancient Aliens. I don't think so. It's www.mufon, MUFON, MUFON.com, and then when you get there, punch up Chicago O'Hare or flying saucer or whatever. John found it, 2006.
Well, check your email.
I'll find it.
You found it, John?
Yeah, check your email.
Okay.
Like I said, I've seen it before, but I really paid attention to it today. I put my glasses on, looked very careful. I mean, it's just truly amazing. And like I said, I think that thing was there for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, so the UFO was charged, had a negative charge to it, I guess, because it pushed the clouds away, because the clouds are charged positively, I guess. That's why they float, right? Or they float because they have some sort of exclusion zone, the easy water charge characteristics that make them float in the air, so that the UFO probably had a charge that was similar, and it cleared the whole sky in the path it went. It was probably an electrical thing that happened.
Well, at least nobody will admit how those things they move. What their power source is, electromagnetic, whether it's magnetic or anti-gravity or whatever it is. However the thing moves, it moves. But that thing was sitting there totally stationary, although it was spinning, and that's pretty odd that they spin, but that one was actually spinning, and it was sitting there for a long, long time. And like I said, hundreds and thousands of people saw it, and the pilots saw it, and they were rerouted around it, and so forth and so on. And I mean, you just can't explain something like this away. There's just no way to do it. It wasn't a mirage. It was real, because when it left, I mean, if it just disappeared and it didn't punch a hole in the clouds, you could easily say it was a what do you call it, a hologram or something like that. Somebody figured out how to do a hologram. But since it punched a hole in the clouds when it left, it's obviously not a hologram.
No, you would have to conclude that it's something physical. It has substance. It's ponderable. It's made of ponderable matter, as the old people used to say back way long ago. So that's where you start with your analysis, I guess, Ray. It's something you can ponder.
Well, from my point of view, I don't ponder it. I'm 100% sure that these things exist. The only thing I do not know is where they come from, whether they're from another solar system or another planet, or they time travel. I think they time travel, personally, because there's just been too many of them that are there, and then all of a sudden they just disappear. They all of a sudden they come out of nowhere, and they're there, and then they're gone, or they come from nowhere and they're there. So to me, it's something to do with time, or it's way beyond any of our thinking. But the fact is, they're there and they're real. Now, again, maybe they come from Earth. Maybe they're Earth people that have come back in time 10,000 years to say hello. I don't know, but they're real, whatever they are. And according to what they said today, the frequency of sightings has come up dramatically in the last few years. So whether that's due to people with cameras and people that can photograph instantly and take pictures of them, or there are a lot more of them coming here, well, I don't know.
When I get near a computer, I'll look it up. It'll be entertaining. KD1MW.
Well, you're always trying to debunk my flying saucer stories, and this one here, there's just simply no way you can debunk it. It's just impossible to debunk. It's a fact. It happened. The thing was there. It was solid. It was close enough that you could see it really, really well. And, of course, when it left, it punched a hole in the cloud. So, the fact is it was there. Who it belongs to, I'm not sure, but it was there.
Big weather balloon, Ray.
What was that?
Big weather balloon.
It sounded like you said water balloon.
Said a big weather balloon.
Oh, big weather balloon? No, that was... A weather balloon doesn't accelerate away at, 15,000 miles an hour.
Well, that's the other thing you can ponder. They actually move at a velocity. If you can see it traveling from one distance to the other at a rate. So there's another thing you can ponder. They don't just snap and be here and be there. They have a velocity, and they're and you can see them. So they're probably made of something solid.
Some are, and some are just lights. Many of these things have been seen as just bright lights, and then all of a sudden the light just changes color, it changes intensity, it'll pulse, and then just disappear. It's right in front of you, and then all of a sudden it just disappears and it's gone. So that kind of thing happens, and of course then there's the hard sighting where they're seeing a definite metallic something or other, which is that one out at O'Hare. That thing was there, and you can't dispute it. So if you believe, you can't believe it's not there because of the kind of pictures that millions of pictures were probably taken of it. But like I said, you're the guy that I come to for the explaining it away, and that one, I don't think you can explain that one away. There's no way to explain it away. N1DVL.
How did the newspapers explain it?
They showed a couple of headlines, but not enough time to read them. I'm sure in that article, there's probably the articles in the newspapers and so forth and so on. You'll have to read them. You read all up about it. You're going to be the expert. So you read all up about it, read every single thing, and then come back and give me the tell me what I'm missing here. And one DBL.
Yeah, I've gotten past the 1948 Amateur Handbook. I'm probably not going to get into becoming an authority on UFOs.
Well, strangely enough, when I was going through the books at my mother's house, and I got it down on the kitchen table, and I'll bring it up here tomorrow, I have an old Collins handbook, Radio Amateur Handbook by Collins Radio Company. I don't know when it's from, but I was thumbing through it, and it's pretty interesting.
I bet it is.
It really is. I got to see what its date is. I'm guessing this is probably in the 50s or something. But everything in there is done the old-fashioned way with matching sections, and the chokes and ballons are made by winding, and it's kind of neat. I don't know if they have. Did they have ferrite back in the 50s and the 40s?
Well, I think a lot of the stuff was done with air wound. Collins had a lot of contracts with the Air Force and did a lot of aircraft radio equipment during that period of time, as well as some fixed plant stuff and some high power stuff. Just like several other companies, but they had some good contracts.
I'm sure.
I don't know specifically if they were using ferrites, but I know that a lot of their couplers were, air wound and very fundamentally based.
Real engineering.
Right.
I would still love to walk into Bell Labs 1936 or 7 with one of these radios and drop it on the counter.
Yeah, they would look at it and say, what a fine refinement.
They would deny it even existed because it would almost resemble alien technology.
Yeah, it would be alien technology. See, wouldn't it? I mean, just think about it. If you walked into Bell Labs back in the 30s with a radio like this, and you told them you were from Alpha Centauri, they'd have to believe it.
And you'd have people complaining and saying that the audio was still better on their Comet Pro.
Yeah, because they probably, those, I don't know what those old radios, I don't think their audio systems on those old radios were good. I don't know how good a Collins tube radio is, but I know most of those older radios that I had back in those days, they had just terrible sounding receivers. They were muffled and distorted, and they just were lousy. John, you must have some old Collins gear, don't you?
Well, I have a 1953 R390 non-A version receiver here, which is kind of a beast. It's a wonderful shortwave receiver, among other things.
Well, how would that, if you tune that R390 into say an AM broadcast station coming from Europe or Japan that was 30 or 40 over 9, really good signal, and you put it into a real nice speaker or a set of headphones, and then you plugged it into your 7610, would you notice a substantial difference in the cleanliness, the clean sound of the receiver?
That's a good question. I don't know what the overall audio distortion of the audio chain was on the R390. I don't know if it was really that much better than some of the modern day receivers. I think the modern day receivers would excel in in filtering. The R390 has some really nice LC filters in it, so it's really sweet on AM. In crowded band conditions, it probably isn't a great performer.
I was looking it up. It's in here. It's been tested by Sherwood. Let me look it up real quick. R390. It's way down. I know that, but he did a test.
Yeah, and those things have 600 ohm audio out, so you need a transformer, or a lot of the military speakers had 8 ohm speakers, but they had a 600 to 8 ohm transformer in them to make the conversion. So a lot of people would just take that 600 ohms and connect it to an 8 ohm speaker or a 4 ohm speaker, and it would sound like crap. So a lot of people would go, oh, these things have terrible audio.
Right you are, and the right thing to do was to take a 600 to 8 ohm transformer and put it on that output and drive a speaker with that. That made it sound reasonably good.
Yeah, I've got a couple of 390As here, John. I got stacks of those 600 to 8 ohm. Those tubular round transformers were real easy to find at Hamfest.
Yeah, it is. I don't have the 390A. I have a 390 non-A. It's as old as I am, and so it has LC filters in the wider band positions, and it has a crystal filter in the most narrow band position. Your 390A has mechanical filters, which was a distinct improvement, and there's a whole different audio module in the 390A. They made it a little bit more efficient. The 390s were kind of like the first edition, over.
Yeah, the 390As are the much preferred ones. I got a stack of spare parts, IF decks, audio decks. People, I used to have a list. A friend of mine gave me a list of the things that you have to do to a 390A to make it right. And after you got done going through that list, you usually ended up with a fairly decent radio. A radio that weighed 100 pounds, but still was a pretty decent radio.
It's true. It's quite a heft to get it in and out of the rack, and I have kind of a shelf built into the rack at a reasonable heft height in order to do that. And I've had it in and out a couple of times during the past year for a couple of reasons, but it's kind of fun. It's boat anchor stuff, though. It doesn't meet some of the newer standards of radio technology, but it's kind of fun to run. WB2BYP.
100 kilohertz dynamic range, 130. So it's not bad, but it's not great either.
Yeah, that's the thing. For its day, think about it. It's been around for 65 years.
Oh, for its day, it was really good, but by today's standards, no.
Yeah, John, if you in your travels, if you encounter a Barker & Williamson Model 370 single sideband adapter, they make a very, very good accessory for these 390. I don't know about the 390, but the 390A. You tap that 455 IF out, throw it into this single sideband adapter, and the thing's got an 8-pole crystal lattice filter in it and a gating control, which basically passband shift, and I use it for medium wave DX, and I'll tell you what, it's really a pretty fine piece of equipment from 1953.
It is. It's kind of like operating an old car. If you had an old Packard in your garage or something like that, you'd say this is a pretty fine car. But it doesn't go head to head with something new, but it's pretty fun to operate. I have seen some of those single sideband adapters. I don't have one on mine. Somebody tried to do a product detector mod on this receiver, and I reversed it, and I put it back to Collins' original. And maybe not perfect, but it works as a fine shortwave receiver, and generally kind of fun to tool around with.
Yeah, I had a buddy of mine sent me plans and some parts to build a AM synchronous detector, an outboard AM synchronous detector for my 390As, and it was and it gave you really good audio quality, really cleaned up because the detector in it was all pretty high fidelity, but it is like, I got other radios that I like to use that are, I can just pick them up and carry them around. I don't have to worry about calling a friend over to help me lug them, So they're great radios and a great curiosity, but they're not the end all be all, that's for sure. KC1RS.
WB2BYP. Yep, they certainly are. I enjoyed using one for many years. I had an R391 back in the day, back in the 70s, which was nothing more than an R390 with auto-tune, which really wasn't any use to anybody, but it was kind of a curiosity, and I was really regretful that I got rid of it, because I guess those things are worth a little bit more than the average receiver now. You can find a 390A pretty well on the market in reasonably good condition for not too bad a price, and 390s are still available too. It's a curious piece of technology, and it had a lot of use through the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Ask any Intercept guy, over.
Yeah, that's where they all came from. I had a friend that was a ham down in Florida, and he was in the Army, and he was at a monitoring location in Italy, and he said that they when they shipped out and decommissioned their 390s, they used to throw them off the roof of the building out into the parking area behind the building in order to destroy them, and run them over a few times. And I knew this guy in Texas that used to part them out and sell the pieces, and he was when the government was finally unloading them, they were unloading them on the pallet you bought them based on their weight. You didn't buy like, hey, okay, the government's selling an R390A and it's $100 or whatever. It was, they just would produce a pallet of them, and you'd give them X amount per pound for that pallet. And this guy used to go and bid on them and like fill a tractor trailer rig up with all this old surplus equipment. It was like just mind-boggling. And then half of it had been sitting out in a depot, uncovered, in the rain, in the weather. It just breaks your heart to think about our government at work.
I have some pictures of stacks of them on pallets at Tobyhanna in Pennsylvania. Just as you say, out in the rain for no good reason other than, just somebody waiting to finally DMR them. And, it was a sad thing to see them go. A lot of them got deep sixed in the Straits of Taiwan, too, when in 1955, when a lot of equipment that was being given to the Taiwanese got dunked. There's a lot of them that are now coral reefs, over.
Yeah, I have some permeability tuned oscillators as spares, and they were depoted at Tobyhanna. So I got some stuff from Griffiths too, because there are a lot of parts were floating around out there that came out of the fifth echelon shops, and a lot of it was still in the Mylar. Like you go back about 25 years, and you could buy like a URM 25, like a J or whatever, still vacuum packed from like 1968. You just stumble into all these like wonderful finds once in a while if you look long enough.
Yeah, the finds they're becoming harder to find. A lot of that has been scooped up and either disposed of or held in the hands of real collectors. Still a lot of these around, and if you look, they're not too hard to find. And they command a reasonable price. But when you think, okay, what do I do with an 80-pound receiver versus my 20-pound, SDR-based dual receiver, new technology thing, and you got to kind of go, well, it's in the realm of antiquity more than anything else. Fun to play with and a good education. WB2BYP.
They just sold a 390 down here at a weekly auction for $360.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. A really clean one will go for, $400, $500, $600, and some of the super modded ones. There's a guy in, I want to say Colorado, who does kind of like souping up of them. Do you know of him?
No, I don't. I have a couple of 390As, and I put in a bid on this one. Wednesday, I guess it was, and apparently I was not aware that they commanded that much money. I thought the 390As were a little more valuable.
Well, it depends on what you're looking for. The mechanical filters were more stable and did a real good job. The 390 non-A's had LC filters and crystal filters, and they were a little bit different. So it depends on what you want. They still command a reasonable buck out there, and in good and original condition, there's a lot to them. You can still find a lot of them that don't have the meters, because they disposed of the meters because the meters have a very small amount of radioactive material in the displays of them. And so it's not unusual to find one on the surplus market with its meters missing.
Yeah, I got lucky on the ones I have. They all have the meters in them. I think I have 4 or 5 of them. And I think the most I paid was $350 at Kutztown, WA3FPN.
And WB2BYP. First one I paid was $500 in 1973 or so, something like that, which was a ton of money. And I think I paid that for the 390 non-A that I have, but maybe 20 years ago. So they vary around. You can find them in various condition, and of course they were made by 6 or 7 different manufacturers too, and some of the parts got swapped back and forth. The originals were Collins, and then they sold the manufacturing rights to other companies.
I thought I read somewhere that the Collins really weren't the more desirable ones.
That may be true. I don't know. Maybe because the newer ones had further modifications in them as they found basic improvements, and that was incorporated in later contracts. I don't know when the later contracts all finally ended, but I'll bet you it was 1970-ish.
Yeah, they had Motorola and Stuart Warner made them, but I think the majority of them were made by EAC, Electronic Assistance Corp. And I got a couple of those. Of all the ones that I've looked at, I outside of the older Collins made ones, the EAC seem to be pretty well built.
Yeah, the one I have in the shack here is an EAC.
Yep, they were all good, good contracts, and people did a good job on them. The place that I worked at had one of the original designers of the 390, and he had a engineering prototype in his basement for many years, and I was hoping that it would end up at the antique radio museum down in Bristol or Holcomb, New York. When it was all said and done, because that was kind of one of the first ones.
John, you ever have an SP600 Hammerlin?
Yes, I did. I had an SP600 JX17, one of the better ones of those, and that's another one of those. I'm sorry I got rid of it. It was an estate thing, and around 1996, I cleaned out a friend of mine's estate, and I took it over to Deerfield, and I let it go for what would have been a really good price, and I'm sorry ever since.
Yeah, I've got, mine's a slightly later one than the 17, but I was never going to buy one because the older ones had a reputation for having problems with the black tubular capacitors in them, shorting out left and right, where you had 50 or 60 of them needed to be swapped out, right? So the one that I had was all ceramic disc capacitors, so it was I didn't have any problems with it. It works perfectly. The only issues really is just it was part of an estate, and it sat out. It didn't sit out, but it sat in somebody's garage, obviously, for a long time. But other than that, the thing works great. It's just another 100-pound rig.
Yeah, it is exactly that. The Sprague Black Beauties were a wonderful thing while they worked, and until they didn't. And then you really wanted to recap the whole radio and kind of go through it and realign it and everything. Once you did, it's a fine receiver. Again, another one of those examples of great engineering from its time and place. But far surpassed by some of the newer stuff that we can find on the band. My dogs are telling me I got to go out, so I'll be back in a while. WB2BYP.
Hey, Randy, you still on the frequency?
Yeah, I'm here. KB2ZVP.
When are you gonna come down here and take one of these Hammerlins out of my basement that I'm tripping over?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't thought of that. I haven't got it on the schedule. Maybe I'll have to put it on the schedule.
Well, you do occasionally visit Ray, right?
No, not unless he's got something for me, which is never.
Ah, okay. I thought you made the occasional visit there. So I'm not that far away, maybe like another hour further south. But okay, all right, that's all right. I'll figure something out. KC1RS.
If anybody knows of an HX50 with 160 on it, I would be interested.
I've got to come out that way because I'm going to give this old amplifier, this old homebrew monster I've got in the barn to Don. He's in Connecticut, and when I do, I'll let you know. Maybe we can put a couple stops together.
All right. Yeah, I don't know if there's that many people close to me here. Everybody lives up halfway to Massachusetts. Dave's a pretty fair clip north of me, and Devin's even further away. So I'm hanging out down here all by myself. I guess I'm just an island down here until we can hunt some more people down that live in this neck of the woods.
Iron 1 SAG. Russ, what town are you in? I forgot. I'm up here in New Hartford.
Yeah, I'm in Madison, North Madison.
Okay, yeah, that's not so far. That's no big deal there. I'm not interested in Hammerlin. Oh God. Randy likes all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, hey, did you go to the thing on Sunday in Southington?
No, I didn't. I was, my buddy was. If I was going to go, he had something else to do, so I just hung around the shack all day. But no, I think I went to that one once years and years ago, and I bought stuff. That's why I don't go to these things, because I bring money and then I come home with junk, that I never use. Well, the stuff I bought last time, I got to say I did use, but only once. So, and it's now, but it's just, I didn't go.
Yeah, we probably didn't spend maybe a half an hour. There weren't a lot of swap tables. There were a lot of people there, but there wasn't a whole lot as far as any decent used equipment. I didn't see anything there that tickled my fancy. So I think Bo Peep picked up a couple of little things to mess around with, but radio-wise, I didn't get anything out of it.
Was there anything on the tailgates out in the back?
I didn't know there were people tailgating outside. There was hardly. They didn't have any of the tables on the inside covered. I didn't know they had an outdoor tailgating section there. I must have screwed up and missed it.
K89 CHC.
Well, the 9 station, hang on a second. Yeah, they frown on that, though. They want you to come in and buy a table, but some of the guys hang around their cars, and they'll have stuff on the back seat. You kind of got to snoop around and be suspicious. The 9 station, go ahead, and when it's AG.
Yeah, this is Kilo Delta 9, Charlie Hotel Charlie. Good evening.
Okay, Charlie Hotel Charlie, good copy. I'm in Connecticut with Russ and Randy. Randy's up there in Syracuse, and Russ is down there in Madison, Connecticut. Go ahead, 9 station.
Yeah, let me say hi to Randy. Hey, Randy, how copy?
How you doing? You're doing a good job, Ron.
Yeah, all right. Well, I found out I was on 160 this morning, and I found out something I didn't know about this 7300. I was able to get it on the receive at 3.650 on the wide on the receive.
Yeah, we just gotta. Well, I don't know about on that one. You gotta push and hold the button, right, and open it up.
Yeah, you gotta play with it, between the twin what do you call it? Twin PSPs. You know what I mean? You got 1 and 2, and you gotta get those, lined up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you should be able to hit the PBT clear, and that'll go back to regular. Then just push and hold the filter, right? I think you can just push and hold the filter and select the wide filter. I know that's how I do it on my on this rig.
I don't know. I thought this guy had the same radio I had, and I didn't know you could go that wide. And he showed me how to do it, so that's pretty cool.
Well, Russ in here, he's got a 7300. Actually, so does Dave. Both of the guys that are in here, they have 7300s. Russ and Dave, do you dial your rig out to 3.6?
Russ, you?
Yeah, on receive. Yeah, I got it pretty wide on filter 1.
Yeah, mine's still default.
And what do? Just push and hold it, and then open up the filter when it comes up? I was asking Russ, actually.
Yeah, you just got to, there's like a screen when you push in the filter and hold it. There's a screen where you can go in and mess around with it.
Yeah. This one, you just push the button, but I don't have a screen that you can manipulate, so I don't know. I know it's probably similar because all ICOMs are the same way.
I'm going to step out. I had to step away a little bit, so you guys have a good night. KT2D, I guess it's Russ, Dave, and Randy is all that's left, and the 9 station. Have a good one. KT2D.
Great to hear you, Bob. 73. Sleep well.
I will, and it's always enjoyable being here. Thanks, guys.
Well, anyways, I guess I'm going to clear out here. My wife was watching some movie about male strippers and some kind of mic. I don't know, something mic. And I told her, I said, I'm going to get back there on the radio. So I get pretty bad static crash. We got a storm coming this way. So 43T, everybody on the frequency, we're going to QRT, I guess, for a while. KD9CC, and I'll be clear.
All right, pal. 73. Ron, good to hear you as always. 73. KB2ZVP.
You still got a lot of snow. Randy, most of ours is gone now.
Oh, yeah, most of ours is gone. Maureen's been out there raking every night. Yeah, and most of it's gone.
Yeah, I was out. I did the one flower bed was pretty much all thawed out. I got all that raked out and cleared, ready for mulch. And the other one is shaded, you know, it's on the looking north. The front of it, I got to wait. That one still froze up pretty good. But little by little, tomorrow's supposed to warm up. We're supposed to get warm weather tomorrow and then back to cold. Is that what you guys are getting?
Yeah, but overnight we're supposed to get 2 to 3 inches of snow. Let me look at my weather report here right now. Yeah, it's cooling down, and let's see here. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look like it now because it's Sunday. Oh, wait a minute. I'm thinking today's Saturday. I'm a dumbass. So, yeah, it's going to snow Saturday night into Sunday, not tonight. It's supposed to be nice here tomorrow, and then and snowy overnight.
You got to go in tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm going to go in. I got some welding to do. I got some big vibrator plates I've got to pull off and weld on the frame of the machine. Some heavy stuff.
Half a day or whole day?
I don't know. I hope it's a half day, but it seems like every time I go in there, it turns into an extra long day.
Yeah, a whole day of welding and fabricating. Tough for anybody. All right, yeah. But, so if you're running your receiver wide on these 7300s, does it sound any better?
Yeah, you get a little more fidelity out of them, I think. You can go soft or you can go sharp on the filters. I'm just running soft, but if you're getting anything adjacent channel or whatever, you probably want to sharpen it up. Like if I'm trying to DX or whatever, but and I've played around with my AGC settings a little bit and stuff. You really gotta mess around with them in order to get them just right. I've had to think for a while, and I'm really only just getting used to the customizing on it.
Yeah, I haven't really done anything on receive, only transmit. So yeah, interesting to know. I'll have to look into that one. When I'm really bored one day, I don't want to get into it tonight.
Yeah, they got a default button that you can, like when you're going through the filter settings, and if you want to put it back to default, there's a button there. You just hit that and it puts it where it was originally, so you don't have to worry about getting it all screwed up or upside down or whatever. So, I like these things. It's once you figure out where one or two of the settings are, usually in pretty good shape. And yeah, you can even turn the like I do some broadcast band DXing with mine, so you can even switch the attenuator on and off for the broadcast band, but I leave mine on. I'm too close to the big stations over in New York. WCBS is pretty bad, so, but they don't. I've got a Palstar pre-selector that I use to tighten things up on it, so it works pretty good.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, I have some, one is the WTIC band here. So I'm not sure. I think it's on Rattlesnake. Well, I don't even know where it is anymore, their actual tower for broadcast. But they're the strongest one on broadcast bands for me, and I don't have any problems with it. I can, as far as noise reduction or anything like that, it comes in nice and clear, nice big, wide signal. So, but I never got into that. I'll have to, like I say, one day I'll have to look into that and play with it. But the radios. Once you start fooling with it, it's pretty forward. The menus, there's a lot of customization. There's customization, no question about that. N1SAG.
I'm checking out, guys. So you have a good night, and we'll see you guys tomorrow after work. KB2ZVP.
Okay, Randy. Yeah, I'm afraid to go upstairs. I don't know if UConn won tonight. My wife is watching the girls play, and I guess they were playing UCLA, and when I came down, it was very kind of touch and go, very edgy. So she may be in a bad mood. But all right, we'll have a good day tomorrow.
All right. Yeah, you better check on the internet before you go up or something, just to make sure the coast is clear.
Yeah, she'll be all right.
All right, sleep well, guys. KB2ZVP. I'm out.
Hey, one Adam Henry, Adam.
Hey, here's Dick.
Yeah, we're doing okay over here on this side of the hill. Yeah, we're doing all right. Randy, how are you doing?
Oh, well, Randy just checked out. He went to bed. This is Dave, N1SAG, with Russ over there in Madison. Go ahead, Russ.
Hey, Dick, how you doing this evening?
Okay, Russell, I didn't catch the call, but I got Dave in there. It's N1SAG. We have him all right, and I gotta write this down. That way I can remember. Got Russell in there, and I didn't get the call quite on Russell. My voice still changing? Oh boy, crazy voice. Anyway, this is me over here, Dick, D-I-C-K, Dick. And Randy's not there. I thought he was. Oh well, go ahead, Russell.
Yeah, Dick. The call here is Kilo Charlie 1, Romeo Sierra. Yeah, we talked once in a while here I don't know. I hear you in here all the time, but haven't talked to you lately, though. It's good to hear you. You got pretty good signal in over here. I'm in Madison, Connecticut.
Okay, Madison, Connecticut. Wow, that's good. That's a 20/9 signal here, too. 20 over on my 857 Yaesu. Doing 100 watts with the speech processor on. Oh, boy. Yep, that's it. And, all right, in Connecticut, there's another guy in Connecticut. There was another one in there. Oh, I know. Dave's in Connecticut, too. Yeah, New Hartford, I think. N1SAG, and I think did I copy it right? KA1RS, Radio Shack? No, not that. We don't have that anymore. But anyway, I'm not sure of the call on that one. But, let's see. It's been a while since we talked to you. And I don't know if it's N1 or KA1RS. I'm not sure. But you're coming in good here. You're coming in good. It's my old age and in hearing aids that don't give me too much, leave way one or the other. Sign on out there and he'll be back, I guess. He'll be back, I hope. Yeah. Oh, boy. Anyway. Hey, we had a beautiful day. It's up in the 50s. It's supposed to rain tonight, but I don't think it's going to rain. I think it's canceled it. Maybe Sunday night. I don't know.
Okay, Dick. Yeah, we had rain here in New Hartford, Connecticut all day, on and off mostly. And Russ is down there in Madison. His call is Kilo Charlie 1RS, isn't it, Russ? Over?
Yeah, KC1RS. One.
KC1RF. All right. Team Charlie 1 radio. Sierra. Sensei Shack again. Oh boy. Radio Shack. I kind of, oh well. Way to go.
We didn't get a lot of rain here. It sprinkled a little bit. I don't know. It may rain a little bit harder tomorrow, but it's supposed to warm up at least for one day anyway. But we didn't get enough rain for it to mean anything today.
Okay, fine business there. Yeah. You know, it's going to be.
Well, remember last year around this time we had like 4 storms come in back to back, and one of them knocked out today. And my yard was full of limbs, so I'm not forgetting that one. So I still have the sticks up along the driveway, so I know where to scrape the snow and where the drop-offs are. I'm leery. I feel like if I yank those sticks up,
I hope not. Yeah, I hope it don't snow anymore. Gee. Yeah, I thought we were going to get hammered this year, but, farmers almanac and all that. And a couple of years ago we did. I think 2015 was it, or 17? We got over a couple of feet of snow. It was a real storm. Wow.
I'm hoping it's going to be spring. Here it's not. You left up 50 degrees today. Tomorrow we're going to be might even hit 50 to 70 over some out in the shade there. Look at real foggy. And then right from the coast, it still must be warm enough. That's it. Nice and quick. I want to sun. Open it. Yesterday, go back. It was real nice. And we're getting sun. Everything showers. I don't like these spring snowstorms. Like Russ said, they get heavy and start breaking trees and cutting out power lines. So we don't need that. N1SAG.
you got to get an older rig. I've got a ICOM 718. That thing's pretty well behaved on a deep cycle battery. I always use it on the field day. I tried to run the radio, like my 746 Pro that I had on the battery, and it clumbers that battery in no time. So I'm sure these computerized jobbies do the same thing. So I keep that little 718 around just in case. KC1RS.
Yeah, okay, very good. You know, it's good to have some sort of power around the house anyway, you know. You just operate 2 meters and then 2 meters, and I like charging the outside jack here. Like a 12 volt, 12 amps, and it does pretty good on the 2 meter thing. Then I can put lights on in here, but all them things like that probably kill a battery in a short time, you know.
Dick, Roger, no, the new radio, big radios, especially the ones they're making today. So, yeah, even the older ones, my old 821 uses a lot of idle current as well. You know, even that little FT100D uses a lot of juice on if you're running off a battery. So I don't know why, but they got a lot of in there. Generator's good. I just seem to want to pull this thing out all the time, and I haul it out and then pull it back on. It's like a wasted trip. But one winter we had it on for almost 6 days. The generator. We were out of power. They couldn't get us hooked up for 6 days. So I always try to keep the thing maintained and gassed up and ready to go. And I run it a little bit 2 or 3 times a year, and it's a good generator. It runs the house anyway, but it's on wheels too. You know, it's got handles that fold down. You pick up the handles like a wheelbarrow. You cart it out in front of the garage. I plug it in, shut off the input power from the street, and let her have at it. N1SAG.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, very good on the generator. Yeah, I was thinking again. We did pretty good this year without running off, losing the power. Oh boy, 6 days, that's a long time without. But then you got the generator going, so that's good. Yep. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I was thinking of doing but then you gotta have a transfer switch, and that's... oh boy, yeah, all kinds of stuff today. Yeah, generators are good, I know. And, the generator in the car, that works good. But it only does 12 volts. 12 volts and, let me see, whatever the alternator kicks out. Yeah. Keeps good, but oh, the battery's still going. 7 years old and it's still running, and it's sitting outside in the car all the time. I don't put it in the garage. Anyway, I'll shut the garage. And we only got a single phone, so that don't work too good.
Dick, somebody can check his radio. Go check, go ahead. Is that Chris? All right, Russ and Dick, I think I'll go upstairs see who won the basketball game. Hopefully it was her team and she'll be in a good mood. Otherwise, I'll just walk quietly by and so these fellas we'll hook up again tomorrow. And honestly, we're just
You guys have a good evening and enjoy the weather tomorrow. It's going to have nice weather tomorrow. The 73, 8, 1 already.
tonight, and of course the conversation got heavy, even cut out. How's the weather down there in Maryland? Yeah, what time you're hot on 20? I was busy this morning. I didn't do much radio today, but I was listening to 20 early this morning. I just came through it. But it was kind of dead this morning. But like I said, I had company. Well, all right. Well, I don't know. I heard you come in earlier tonight. I got here, but I was up and down. And I was fooling around on UAF, but didn't get any contact. So, man, pretty morning. I'll have to look at I got the schedule here today. What's the month of this? Is what's 30th? What's the 29th? It's 3:30. Ready? You picked up tomorrow? I'll be there. I'm here for
there's something going on. I was thinking parts. The guy kept people calling CQ, and I've even heard someone over 60. So, yeah, we're chatting real early. I mean, he was calling CQ around 5, and I was surprised I could even hear him. But I got in there and we chatted, and it was a tough copy at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, I don't have. I gotta look. I got another schedule here, but I gotta dig for it. But I don't have anything left in March. I don't think there's anything. Maybe I'll look. But yeah, anyway, I didn't want to. I heard you come back in a few minutes ago. I didn't want to. I would shove off before I said hello, and got a good weather report. 70 degrees sounds good. And up here today, it rained on and off all day. You know, nothing bad, nothing heavy, no wind, nothing like that. And it gradually got up. I believe it hit 50, and we had a little fog, and that was a good sign, because that'll melt things down. But otherwise, it's getting better and better. Nothing blooming. They break some leaves every day, so to wake up and grow. Well, all right, I'm going to get out here. I'll see what happens with the basketball game. That's a good thing for her. You know, it's a big basketball fan, but we'll see what happens there. She can hopefully see what happens in when it's
Good day. Good evening. And North Carolina, I'll talk to you more. It's still 60. I don't know how to do it. There's a few we go all night, just